Okay, it's Professor Shoemaker showing you how to do a two-variable data table. We're using the same set of assumptions before, and I'm going to assume in this video that you've already viewed the first video on one-variable data tables. A one-variable data table allows you to generate values from multiple different columns here. We could have more than two columns here. We can really have any number of columns, but you can vary only one value. Sometimes you want to try two things. Suppose we want a model selling price across here and units sold down here. So let's start with units sold at 500, and we'll go to 1,000 for the next step. So we're going to do it in steps of 500, and let's drag that down the column like that. So we're going to model from 500 to 4,000 in steps of 500 units sold. Okay. Across the top, let's do selling price. Let's vary the selling price as well as the units sold. So that's why this is called a two-variable data table. Not only are we going to do units sold here, we're also going to do selling price. So let's put selling price here and say we go from $1,300 to $1,400 like so, and then we'll extend this across to $1,600. Now we're going to vary two values, the units sold and the selling price. I'm just going to put selling price up here, and in a minute I'll put units sold here. Now, whereas with a one variable data table you could generate values for any number of columns, in a two variable data table you can have two variables, but for each combination of the two you can only produce one value. So in this cell we will produce the net income, or the net profit rather, if we sold 1,500 units at $1,400. We'll put it in that cell. So you can have two variables, but only one result for each combination of the two. Now, what we want to put into this table is net profit. So I'm going to come up to this cell, which is right in the upper left-hand corner of the table, and make that a reference to net profit, the value that we want to display here. Now, we don't want a number to show up here. What we want to show is just the word units sold as a caption on top of this column here. So I'm going to use custom formatting for that cell to make it units sold, like that. So now the table's all set up and ready to do the calculations. To turn on or turn loose the calculation engine here, what I do is select that set of cells that includes this key cell up here that points to net profit and has the values for units sold and selling price and all the cells in between. So we come up to the Data tab and then select What If Analysis and Data Table. Now it has two cells to pop up here, one for row and one for column, and this time we're going to use both of them because it's a two-variable data cell. Selling price is in the row across here, so I'm going to put it at selling price here, C6. The column input cell is units sold, so I'm going to point that at the column input cell and click that and click on OK, and poof, it calculates all the values for me of what our net income is going to be. Right away I'm just going to highlight it and turn on conditional formatting so we can easily spot the cells where we make some money. So I'll set that to anything greater than 0 will get highlighted with green. And now you can see that if we have a selling price of $1,300 and we sell 3,000 units, we'll make $5,000. At 3,000 units and $1,500, we'll make $650,000. So you can see the shaded area in green is where we begin to make money. The way Excel processes a data table like this is when we click on Go up here and pointed to the two cells and told it to go ahead and do the calculations, what it does is behind the scenes, and it's all done in an instant, it first takes 500 units sold and plugs it in up here. Then it takes the $1,300 selling price, plugs it in up here, and then copies the net profit out into this cell. Then it goes on to this cell and it puts the 500 up here and the $1,400 there, and it copies the net profit down. So it does that repeatedly until it's filled in all of the cells. So that's how that works. If you have questions, send me emails or post questions on the discussion board.